Hey, it's Pete. Welcome back to Question Christ. And the question tonight is, does Jesus want me to eat at Chick-fil-A tomorrow? If you haven't heard, Chick-fil-A has been in the news recently because the head of Chick-fil-A was asked a question. He didn't have some press conference and just gave this information, but he was asked point blank what he thought of same-sex marriage. And he said that he was not for it. He also said that he felt that the country was asking for God's judgment if we kept on tinkering with what traditional marriage should be as seen in the Bible. And so, as you can imagine, there was a huge uproar over this. The gay community went bananas about it, and what was really chilling, though, was when mayors of major cities in this country, such as Boston, Chicago, San Francisco, came out and started saying that they would try to stop Chick-fil-A from doing business in these cities because of this one man's opinion. The mayors, I thought, set a terrible precedent for trying to ban someone because the person was just expressing their opinion. So I started getting kind of riled up about this, like, how can they do that? How can they do that? Then I started seeing people on Facebook going bananas and calling, Chick-fil-A all sorts of names and trying to vilify this company. And my experiences with Chick-fil-A has always been very positive. They always seem like they're an upstanding organization. They've donated a lot to the community. They take Sundays off for their employees so they can go to church. They're really what I see as trying to be living a biblically correct life. What drives people crazy, besides his statements though, is that Chick-fil-A also gives money towards organizations that promote traditional marriage, and that drives people crazy too. And again, I understand from the gay perspective that this would be infuriating. But again, this is America, and we should be able to express these things. And so I started getting all riled up between the mayors and people on Facebook, and I started getting all really kind of wrapped up in this thing. And but tonight I wanted to step back and say, hey, what should I do here? I want my life to mean something here. I don't want to turn people away from Christ. I also want to step up for biblical principles when they're being attacked. So I started looking at a lot of blogs, and one person brought up a great point, that when Jesus started his ministry in Israel, Rome was starting to occupy Israel, and they were bringing a lot of different cultural practices to Israel, paganism and a lot of things that Israelites saw as sinful, and they were just going crazy about it. And they wanted to lead rebellions, and a lot of them wanted to make Jesus king and to go after Rome, and Jesus kind of said, no, I'm not going to do it that way. That's not how I operate. And at the same time, he would hang out with the so-called bad people, the sinners, and most of his condemnation was directed at the religious who were pointing fingers at everybody else. And he was saying, your heart is dark as well. It's sometimes easy to forget in these moments that we are all sinners. We are all sinners. The culture doesn't want to hear that, but we have to remember that we are, as Christians as well, that we don't have it all together. I know I don't, okay? But we should also, as Christians, not be surprised at the reaction to biblical principles as these days go on. We should not be surprised in the least. And that was one of my problems. I was like, why don't people just see this? And I realized this shouldn't be shocking. Jesus understood it. He understood sinful nature of all of us. But he wasn't shocked by what the Romans were bringing. So I'm, not going to be shocked at people's reaction towards anything that's biblical anymore. I'm going to expect it, and that will help me out. But the big question is, do I go eat chicken at Chick-fil-A tomorrow? And I think the answer is yes. I am going to go to show support to a company that is under siege for speaking the biblical truth about traditional marriage. Not forcing that on anyone else, but just standing up and saying that after he was asked. At the same time, I'm not going to go on Facebook and hold up my Chick-fil-A bag and point my fingers at all the bad people. Because there are no bad people. We're all sinners, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to love on anyone who comes my way. I'm going to love people of different faiths. I'm going to love people who have no faith at all. I'm going to love on people of different sexual orientation. Whatever comes my way, I will love on them. Now, some of them will not want me to love them, or they will not love me back. And they will hold up the fact that I went to Chick-fil-A on Chick-fil-A Appreciation Day and say, you are a homophobe and you are a bigot and you are this and you are that. I will not fall prey to that lie, because it's a lie. I can stand up for biblical truth as well as love on other people that I do not agree with. This idea in this country right now is that if you are not for my side, then you are a hater, and you hate and you are phobic on whatever I am. You're either anti-Christian or you're anti-Muslim or you're anti-gay, and you hate, and your speech is filled with hate, and you know, all this stuff. We have fundamental disagreements on things, but I do not hate on anyone. Now, I know I'll get long diatribes on this comment thread about how I am, but I know in my heart that I'm not. But I do think that I should stand up for biblical principles as well. So, I would call Christians to think about that and not be so shocked over these culture wars. Don't get so wrapped up into it. It's so easy to. I know it's so easy to. Expect the culture wars. Expect this, and that government is not going to fix it all. And no matter who you vote into office, it's a condition of the heart that we are dealing with here. Okay? And the only person who can save us is Jesus. That is it. That is the only person who can save us. So don't look to, like, you know, save the world through judicial action, through legal action. Get on your faces and pray for this country, for this world, as it's slowly eroding. Not slowly, actually, quickly eroding. And ask God that just please don't let me be a part of that. Please don't help me continue that erosion. Let me stand out and be light in a very dark world. And let me love on people no matter what they call me. So anyway, I'm going to have some delicious chicken tomorrow. And see ya.